So you've captured some audio, but it doesn't quite sound as good as you were expecting. What do you do now? Hey friend, welcome to Guided Productions, where we discuss all things video. My name is Sean, and I'll be your guide to navigating the ins and outs of video production. Now, last week I introduced you to the 3 most commonly used microphones in video, and today we're taking it a step further. We're actually going to learn how to clean up muddy audio, get rid of background noise, and elevate your video with sound. We'll get a little technical today as I talk through some specific audio tools. We're going to do all this work right inside our video editing software. Today, I'm in Adobe Premiere Pro, so let's get into it. Here we are inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the 2025 edition. A couple of things to note right off the bat. I'm in the audio workspace. When you launch the program, it's going to default you to the editing workspace. I've just moved myself to the audio workspace. Doesn't do anything to the video itself. Just unlocks a couple of additional features specific to audio. And since that's what we're discussing today, that's where I am. So I'm actually going to show you 3 tools that I use almost every time when cleaning up audio. I went ahead and pulled in a project that I had worked on previously. In blue, you're going to see the camera microphone. I've got a small shotgun mic attached to my camera, so this was much further away from me when I was speaking. In green down here, I've got a Rode NTG2 shotgun mic that's much closer in proximity. This is the mic that I actually used to capture the audio, but for purposes of today, I'm going to use the microphone that's further away just to show you if you are given bad audio or you recorded audio and it's super muddy, super distant, a lot of background noise. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that may clean it up a bit. Will it be perfect? Maybe, maybe not, but I'll show you a couple of ways to kind of sweeten things up and hopefully give you some usable audio to work with. And before we get started, I also want to say I'm not entirely sure how my computer is going to record the sound playing back out of Premiere that I'm hearing. I've got studio monitors, but what you're hearing in the computer might sound a little funny, so bear with me on that. We're going to get started here. Let's go ahead and play back the audio. Just the raw audio. This is coming from the shotgun mic attached directly to my camera, positioned probably about 7 to 10 feet away from me at the time of this recording.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries.
So right off the bat, I'm noticing that it's super quiet. There's some hiss, some background noise going on there. But the first thing I'm going to do before I start introducing any effects, I'm just going to bring up the level until I get myself somewhere around this, -18 to -12 decibels on this meter over here to the right. I'd like to be somewhere around 75% up that scale. So I've just boosted this, looks like 6, 7 dB. I'm going to just boost this to 12 here. Let's just see what this sounds like. And look at that meter on the right and see where we're coming in. Let's get started.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes.
So you can already see the red up here is I'm clipping that. That's way too hot, way too loud. We need to bring that down a bit. We don't want any of that nasty distortion coming in here. Let's see what this sounds like.
Across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most impactful content is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic and engaging.
Okay, that's starting to sound pretty good. Level-wise, you'll notice I did bring it down a little bit further, even though it wasn't clipping. And part of that is because I want to leave headroom so that when we add things like compression, which I'll get to in a minute, as we bring up that gain, I don't want it to hit that red and start clipping, get that nasty distorted effect. So right now, all I've done is just simply raised the volume here to a level that I'm satisfied with. And the first thing I'm going to do with this audio is add, as I mentioned, compression. Now, we're not audio engineers here, so don't worry about all the different types of compressors. You could get lost into the weeds here, really going deep into compression, but all you need to know is that it's essentially squeezing the waveform, right? It's taking the loudest points of the audio and bringing them down, bringing the lowest points up so that they're closer together. It gives you a much more consistent audio signal across the board. So you don't have anything, blowing your eardrums out in one point of the message and then too quiet, almost a whisper on the other side. So compressor is really going to bring that together, give you some good quality, consistent audio. So I'm choosing the single band compressor. I like to move quickly. I don't need to do a whole lot of work here. I'm just trying to level things out. So I grab that. I'm going to open that up, see what it looks like. Very simple. Don't worry about what all these features are. The things that you really need to know are the threshold. This is how much we're going to squeeze that audio. The attack is how quickly we're going to grab that audio and squeeze it. And the release is how quickly we're going to let it go. Now, when this happens, we often end up bringing out some of that gain, some of that volume You might notice that the audio tends to get quieter when you compress it, and that's where this output gain comes in handy. It's sometimes called makeup gain to do just that. You bring some of that level down, the output or makeup gain is a way to boost the audio, get us back to the levels that we were at before. Believe it or not, big fan of presets here. Like I said, I like to move fast. Not an audio engineer. I just want to make sure that I get something that sounds good to my listener. So I just go in here. It doesn't matter what video editing software you're using. Just look for the preset that most aligns with what it is you're trying to achieve. Now, in this sense, I just want to level out the vocals, just make it sound clean across the board. I'm not looking for a guitar charmer, whatever that is, or metal face, more punch. You can play around with these, but I'm just looking for something that's going to be pretty standard. Vocal leveler, I found seems to work out pretty well. So let's go ahead and see what that sounds like.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most impactful content.
So a couple of things I'm noticing when I'm looking at this meter to the right is that the audio level is much more consistent. It's not jumping way up high and jumping way down low. Obviously, it drops when I stop talking or take a breath, but it's hovering right around this, I'd say -8 to -10 range. I'm going to pull the output gain up a couple decibels so that I'm peaking at the -6 here. And let's just see. Let's just add, let's go with 2.5 and see where that puts us.
Is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic
A
and
little more.
engaging. There's no need for Hollywood budgets or special effects teams, just a good idea and a great delivery. So whether you're volunteering to run social media at your local.
Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now you're starting to hear that hiss come in. You're hearing birds in the background. That's okay. That's to be expected because we're bringing a lot of that signal to the forefront. The next thing I'm going to do is what is called a parametric equalizer, or we're EQing the audio. And I'm just going to find that here. Again, you could really get lost here. Look at 30 bands, 20 bands, 10 bands. These are just the different frequency points that you can tweak the audio. I want to keep this as simple as possible. I'm grabbing this parametric equalizer. I think it gives me 7 bands to work with. I've got 5 here in the middle, and then a low and a high, 7 bands total. Again, we're just going with presets here. I'm going to look for the one that most closely matches the audio source that I've put in here. And right now, I just want to enhance some vocals. I'm not looking for kick drum EQ or heavy guitar, acoustic guitar, beefy snare. No, just enhancing some vocals here. So I'm going to click this. You're going to notice a couple of things. Right off the bat, it's scooping out the low end here. Part of that is, I'm not projecting that low anyway, and the human ear can only hear so low. So this is just wasted space, wasted data. We can go ahead and cut that out, and you're not even going to notice. You're going to notice here on the high end, it's lifting that. That's the clarity or the crispness of the voice. And so that's what we bring that up. And then it's relatively flat here in the middle. We can use this to scoop out anything that sounds a little off. Let's just take a listen quick to see what that sounds like at face value.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most.
Okay, I'm starting to hear those birds come in a bit. That hiss has only gotten worse. I'm actually just going to bring this down a little bit, and then I want to pull it over, make it a little more gradual here. Let's just see what this sounds like.
Impactful content is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic and engaging. There's no need for Hollywood budgets or special effects.
Okay, and now I feel like I've lost a bit of that chest resonance, kind of in this mid-range here. So I'm just going to move this 0.4 around until I find a spot that sounds more natural to what I'm used to hearing. Again, this isn't going to be perfect because I'm intentionally using a mic that was positioned really far from me so that you can hear what it sounds like to have poor quality audio. So let's just move this 4 around and see if we can find something that starts to sound a little more natural.
Effects teams, just a good idea and a great delivery. So whether you're volunteering to run social media at your local church or you're ready to bring your small business to the community.
Okay, so I'm starting to see that the more you lift that, the more unnatural it sounds. You start to get that warbly sound. So really less is more here when you're working with an EQ. So I'm just going to leave that kind of right in this range here, and we'll go back. The next thing I want to do, let me get rid of that, is try to get rid of that hiss, that hum in the background. And we're going to use a noise reduction or restoration tool. The one I'm using here in Premiere Pro is called denoise. I also use a tool called the NS1 noise suppressor. It's by Waves Audio. This is a third-party plugin I bought years ago. I think it's like 35 bucks you can get online today. But this one's built right into Adobe Premiere. So let's go ahead and use this and just see what it sounds like. This is a really simple tool. It's got one slider. You can go back and forth depending on how much quote unquote noise you're going to remove. But you'll start to notice that the further to the 100 mark to the right that I move this slider, the more warbly, the more fake, I guess you could say, the audio starts to sound. Starts to sound like a low quality, old school YouTube video that you've seen years gone by. But let's just play around with this and see if we can find a level that sounds okay to us.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries.
Just to give you an idea what it
And
sounds
in
like.
recent years, I've found that the most impactful content is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic and engaging. There's no need for Hollywood budgets or special effects teams, just a good idea and a great delivery. So whether you're volunteering to run social media at your local church.
Okay, that's starting to sound better. Again, I'll just toggle this on and off so you can hear the differences.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most impactful content is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic and engaging. There's no need for Hollywood budgets or special effects teams, just a good idea and a great delivery.
Is it perfect? No, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was when we started. So right off the bat, compressor, EQ, and some sort of noise suppressor or restoration is what I'm using to clean up audio here. I'm much happier with the way this sounds than I was when we started. But just to take things a little further, it's still a bit distracting. I'm still hearing those birds in the background, but let's just say at this point we've done all that we can do. If we go any more further into processing the audio, it's going to really start to degrade and start to sound pretty terrible. So if we leave things as is, how else can we distract or delight our viewer in a way that takes away from the poor quality or the muddy audio? And that's just simply adding music to your track. As long as it's not distracting and it aligns with the vibe, the feeling, the environment that you're trying to create with your message, music can be a great way to strategically hide some of the poor audio quality captured with the dialogue, but also entertain your viewer at the same time. So I pulled in a track just to give you an idea of what that might look like. Let's listen to that together.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most impactful content is often the simplest content. It's because it's authentic and engaging. There's no need for Hollywood budgets or special effects teams.
So we're getting a long way here. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you is just the difference of bringing a mic much closer to the subject, okay? So the blue, as I'd mentioned, everything that we've been editing thus far has been the camera audio, the shotgun mic attached directly to my Canon camera about 8-ish feet away from me as I was speaking. I did position a Rode NTG2 shotgun mic right above my head as I would position any mic for an interview style video, headshot, talking head video. There's no editing done to this audio, just merely having a mic closer to my face, and this is what it sounds like.
My name is Sean, and I've had the distinct privilege of working with video clients of all sizes across multiple industries. And in recent years, I've found that the most impactful content is often the simplest content.
So you can already start to see that just by merely having a high quality mic positioned properly right in front of your subject as close as possible, you're already starting to cut out a lot of that background noise. So I'm always going to recommend do your best to get high quality audio at the time of recording. You'll save yourself a ton of work, a ton of headache in post. I know that there's a saying out there that says you just fix it in post. It's really only funny to the person who's not fixing it in post-production, but to the editor, that can be a nightmare. So do yourself a favor. Make sure you capture really good, really clear audio up front at the time of recording. But if you're ever in a situation where you are given muddy audio or you captured audio that isn't as clear as you were hoping, just remember, grab a compressor, EQ, and some type of noise suppressor or restoration. Use them in that order to clean up muddy audio. Will it be perfect every time? Not always, but that'll give you a good running start. So that's it, my friend. If any of this has been helpful and you want to learn more about video as a whole, go ahead and download my free PDF guide, The 6 Steps to Creating Better Video. Not only will I give you step-by-step instructions for how to set up your mic and get crystal clear audio, but I'm going to walk you through the entire video process from idea to export so you can get out there and start making great content today. Just go to guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide, guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide. I'll put a link in the description below for you to download your free copy today. Now, thanks, friend, for hanging out with me today. I don't take this lightly. I know you could be doing any number of things right now, so I really respect and really appreciate you spending a bit of that time with me. Leave a comment below if this has been helpful, or if you have questions, or if there's something else you'd like to see from me going forward. Otherwise, get out there, record some crystal clear audio, and I will see you on another video real soon.